Hi everyone, it's Jade from Career Journey Professional based in Sydney, helping you to find and land in the career that's meaningful and purposeful to you. Today I want to share a topic on how to manage your expectation, how to better manage your expectation at work so that it's going to help you to accelerate your success. It's going to help you to excel at your career. So recently, I had a big realization, and it's becoming more and more clear with consulting with my clients in my own life that it's very important to manage our expectations. A lot of the pain, a lot of the problems, a lot of the unfulfillment, unhappiness are coming from our expectations. It depends on what do we expect us to perform, what do we expect we to receive, to achieve, all of that. And also, of course, it's also related to how you will feel fulfilled, how you will feel like you have achieved something, you have done a good job. It's all about our expectations. So in a nutshell, expectations is related in all areas of work. And I realized that because a few of my clients are stepping up to be a manager or facing challenges as a manager or as a senior level person, where they have to set expectations not just for themselves but also for the team, for the colleague, for their subordinates as well. So in our work environment, there are so many scenarios that we have to set expectations, not just for ourselves but also for our clients, for our customers, for our colleagues, for the vendors or supervisors. And when people having specific expectations, they may cause them to expect something from us, deliver service or deliver our products at certain time, in certain way, using certain means, and deliver and approach us in certain ways. And when they're not matched, when they're not happening in the way that they expected, you're gonna have frustration, angry, conflicts, all those kind of problems. Even for us, our own expectation for our yearly achievements, or you expect to be able to lead a project or to be able to represent yourself or having a pay raise or promoted as everyone else in the team but you're not, then that's where you're going to be unhappy, or you don't feel fulfilled, or you don't feel recognized sometimes. That is why it's very important to have a good expectation. I was saying that way. I guess a really good way to illustrate having or managing good expectation is like dating a guy. For example, if you're just new on the dating market again, out of a relationship dating market again, and you're gonna meet a new guy, when you go out, if you're expecting that guy to pay for coffee, which is reasonable as well, this is what I'm gonna talk about later, to pay for coffee or for the meal, and he didn't, you will probably end up really disappointed. However, if you set an expectation, if you talk to a few girlfriends who has been dating, and they're happy to pay for their own meals, so you go out for the expectation that you're gonna pay for your own meals, and when the person didn't pay yours, you're gonna be feel like alright. I'm not saying it's a must, but it's just an example that when we better manage our expectations, we will be happier or less disappointed in that way. So I will share three key points for us to better manage our expectations at work. So the first one is set for yourself, or help to set realistic and achievable expectations in the work environment for yourself or for your colleague or for teamwork or for clients. What does that actually mean? So obviously, where does expectation comes from anyways? It's actually a general understanding. It's probably, for example, if we pay for a phone company, then you would expect that phone line to be set up, say, within a week, and then you'll be able to answer phone calls or make phone calls. All those services should be ready, right? It's not like you paid for it and then after a month, then it hasn't really happened. So those expectations comes from our life experiences, comes from our general understanding, some of the common sense. The same for our work as well. And every company might be different, every industry might be different. For the first step, having a realistic and achievable expectation is actually observe what's happening in the company, what's the general process standard, what's the benchmark, what's the normal way of doing things, so then you have a better understanding what to expect and what people expect of you as well. And when you're being a manager, when you have newcomers or new teams, or you're collaborating with other managers or other people, it's better to help them to set expectations of mutual expectations. What's going to happen at what time, in what way, what's the deadline, what's your milestones, what's the touch point, how to communicate, stuff like that. So I would suggest you will first assess what is realistic and what is achievable in certain time. What's the ways of how is it going to be delivered, how do you measure it, stuff like that. And a second thing is understand in workplace, especially when you're working with someone, make sure that it's clear that you're gonna, whenever there's a problem or if it's delayed or if it's not working out, solution will be worked out together. You're in this together. So there will be solution to work out together so that the other party will be more willing to communicate when there's a problem or more transparent in that perspective as well. That's point number one. And point number two, which of course it's what I just touched on, is clarification of assumptions, or help to set that clarification of assumptions. So we all have these assumptions or expectations of how it's going to happen, how we're going to work together, what's the time, how is it allocated, the task allocated, delegated, and how is it going to be delivered. Some of the times it may be very obvious for yourself, but it may not be obvious to other people, and it's really good to make sure that you're on the same page. So I would suggest, make sure whenever you start a new job, a new task, or on a regular basis, have some touch points of communication check-ins to make sure to clarify the assumptions. Maybe it may be very obvious anyways, but it's also good to clarify that. So make sure you have the same understanding of a situation, of the project or of the deadline or the task that you do or other people do, or what your team doing, and how is it going to be accomplished, how you will measure the success, and what are the benchmarks and what are the points that you will touch base to make sure you're on the same level. That's point number two. So always help you can stand up to clarify your mutual assumptions before any misunderstanding or before any conflicts happens. And number three is ask and communicate. Always ask and communicate. Communicate in a way that, but here I have several words that how you can be proactive, be the first one to communicate, be willing to communicate, be willing to clarify, and and be honest and transparent. When something is not working out, when it's a bit delayed, when there's misunderstanding, it doesn't sound like what you expected, word it out, say it out loud. And also, of course, integrity, respect, and be vulnerable as well. So integrity as in, if it's not what you can actually deliver, make sure you're spelling it out. And having that respect, when you expect somebody else to deliver something to you and it didn't happen, try to understand what's happening on their side and not just abuse them or just blame them without some understanding. And also be vulnerable. It's okay to make mistakes. We're all human. If you did, that's normal. So communication, some of the best ways is set milestones or certain time or a period to always communicate before deadline approaches. There are check-ins, and always honest about delay and tell them early on, or make sure that other people are telling you early on within your collaboration. That's it, guys. Those are the 3 tips that I reckon is very important for you to better manage your expectation, but also more importantly, manage expectations of others, or make sure they're mutual, equal. You're on the same page in terms of your expectation when you're performing, when you're delivering your services or products, when you're trying to get up the career ladder, when you want to get promoted or when you get a pay rise, that you're on the same page as what to expect it from your manager as well as from you. That's everything. Hope that can be helpful. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next video. Thank you.